So Zach, was it going to be a Baylor win? Was it going to be a Baylor loss? It seemed like it was just vacillating back and forth for a long time.
Man,
Baylor ends up pulling it out 37-34 over TCU. Pretty incredible game, really.
I mean this feels like Baylor has been building to something like this, right? Obviously the Tech game 2 weeks ago
Mm,
was kind of a shock,
right.
right? And then Oklahoma State, I think they kind of showed some cracks, but were pretty dominant. And this was a game where, I mean, I don't think Baylor was ever dominant. They were never like they were winning. I think they had the better offense. I think, but like this was the kind of game that Baylor had to work to win.
Hmm.
And they did. They when they needed to have a play, they made that play.
One of the things I said in my column was just that good teams find a way to win when, things aren't always going their way.
Right.
And, would we have said Baylor was a good team 3 or 4 weeks ago, before Lubbock? Probably not, but they have grown so much over these last three
Yeah.
games. And I mean, at this point, I'm willing to say 8-4 is on the table.
It's definitely like, West Virginia. I don't think they've ever won in West Virginia, but then
Mm,
you end here with Kansas and or Houston and Kansas, and those are, despite recent results, certainly winnable games. So yeah,
sure.
8-4, and you're not looking at the rate bowl, you're looking at the Alamo Bowl and like some like more top level bowl game, and
Yeah.
that's like you said 3 weeks ago, that was we weren't saying that.
Absolutely not. Now, clearly, as we said, there were things that did not go Baylor's way
Certainly.
tonight, and most of them I thought were on the defensive side of the ball. The tackling was just
It was
atrocious.
so bad, and like I don't know how you can fix that, because like at least when it's like this is the third game in a row where they gave up 300 yards passing, well, at least 300 yards passing. And I think there's a way to scheme that, and where you can kind of eliminate those holes and do all that. But with tackling, like you almost like that's a player thing. That's a like to me it's harder to fix tackling and just tell someone to tackle. I don't know, yeah, tackling it's kind of, and that's going back to even the Tech game. Like they haven't
Hmm.
been tackling well even then. So that's a hard one to fix, and I don't know how they're going to fix it.
Yeah, and to me, that will end up getting you beat in a game.
Hmm.
They were able to survive it
Hmm.
tonight, but clearly, that's an area they've got to focus on. Again, to quote my own column, I guess. I mean, I said they need to drag the tackling, dummies out of the shed and, and go to work, man.
But I will say, like, we saw the improvement of this team the last time they came out of a bye week.
Mm.
So I would wager to guess that they're going to be watching a lot of tackling. They're going to kind of take that tackling thing and spend the next week before West Virginia. Maybe that, I don't know that, but I'm just going to take a guess that that's probably what they're going to do. And so, I think it's going to be hard to improve the tackling, but they have a bye week to do it. And I think that's going to benefit them for the home stretch.
Thought Sawyer Robertson started off a little shaky. Like there were some passes early in the game that were kind of high, and just a little. He kind of was sailing some of his passes. But to me, the biggest sign of growth for this Baylor team as a whole, well, it's probably twofold, and they're both combined. Offensive line, we've talked about them a lot this year in terms of just how far they've come since last year. But along with that is the running game
Mhm.
because, you go back to the BYU game, you go back to the Iowa State game, and they could not pee a drop. I mean, they could not get anything going on the ground. And then these last three games, they've just been running all over the place. And to me, that that takes a lot of pressure off Sawyer
It
Robertson.
does.
Now I don't have to carry the offense. I mean, and when they needed Sawyer to step up and make a big play, I mean, obviously, the pass to Trigg was huge.
Yeah, the pass to Trig at the end of the yeah in the fourth quarter, that was like the thing I think about Sawyer is like Josh Cameron was talking about this after the game. Like, yes, he didn't throw a touchdown today. I think that snaps a streak of 4 games where he threw at least three, something crazy. But like he didn't need to. But what he did, what Sawyer did was like he was the one to huddle them all up and be like, "Hey, we're gonna go win this game on offense. We're gonna do it. Like we're gonna do it." And that was Sawyer taking charge, stepping up and being the gritty leader that they all know he is.
Yeah. After the game, the fans stormed the field. You had the blackout. You had, the old Big 12 champion teams here. A lot of cool vibes tonight, and I saw you down there taking video of the kids as they were partying on the field. I mean, to me, that's the fun stuff of college football. And, good for Baylor, good for the students who really showed out, I thought.
I mean, and it's appropriate because wasn't the 61-58 game that was 10 years ago, right?
Hmm.
And that was a walk-off field goal.
Oh, yes,
And the students certainly stormed the field that day, right?
they did.
So like I feel like there was a lot of cosmic energy in McLean tonight that just kind of played into that. And you're right, this was, certainly not a sellout, but like energy was high. And like I think certainly the players fed off of that and it just made for uh, a continued step forward.
Much rather go into a bye week with a win for sure. Baylor's going in with 3 straight wins. Wow, it has changed. So yeah, I mean, we'll have a bye next week, then off to West Virginia, and we'll see where they go from there.
And shout out to Isaiah Hankins.
Yeah,
Obviously he made the kick, but he's also a new father.
nice.
Right. So, I know on the ESPN broadcast, at least he dedicated, he's like, yes, I had some new dad energy there. So,
That's awesome.
that was, good to see him kind of bounce back from a missed extra point earlier in the game, to kind of end it like that. So
Yeah,
good
very
for him.
cool. Very cool. Awesome. All right, see y'all.